Hi, I'm Josh.
Hey, I'm Vanessa, and we are doing a review of our 7-day Western Caribbean cruise. So we went through the first half, and if you haven't seen that already, go back and watch that. But now we're going to go through the second half of our cruise, days 4 through 7.
Day 4 of our trip. Day 3 of our cruise.
Yes, and we went to Cozumel, Mexico, and this was our port where we had our one and only excursion.
Yes.
Which was really fun. So a little bit about getting on and off the boats at a port. You need your sail and sign card, and it is recommended that you take your ID as well, like your photo identification. There will be people waiting if you have an excursion, and if you have an excursion, you'll be leaving early anyway, meeting in a central area like we met in Encore Theater, and then we went out so that we could get off the boat in time to make our excursion because we had a long one. So we did the VIP Mayan ruins tour with the with canoeing, lunch, and the Cenote swims, which was actually really fun. We had a great tour guide named Angel, so you'll see a bit of that here.
The last one keeping up is getting sacrificed. Simple question for all my group. If you're going to find a place where to settle down, what's the first thing you have to look for just to be able to subsist? Water. So if you're wondering, why do you have to get a boat ride? A bus ride to get literally here. That's why I'm holding you. Look carefully in the corner. Right below the building you see on the cliff there's a cavern, and inside of that cavern they found a sinkhole or natural well, just like the one you're going to be swimming in today.
Huh?
Is that better?
Yeah. I'm like, after all that work, I just want to relax. I can't even swim.
Get yourself in the cabin. This is where the water comes out from. If y'all look with your gear, you look into the cavern. Okay, this is where the water comes out from the underground freshwater rivers, and the water continues flowing to that side. Okay? It's beautiful in there.
Just to kind of explain, we went on our tour. We did like a bus tour. We did the Mayan ruins. After that, we had like a little snack. Then we did the canoeing. We went swimming. And then we came back for lunch.
Yeah.
All right.
It was super fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. We recommend it.
Yes.
And the extra money for the VIP tour. Umbrellas, water.
And if you can somehow request Angel as your tour guide, even better.
Yes.
So, we get to the port of Belize. If you had a excursion, it got canceled because there was a storm that rolled through that made the beaches just you couldn't visit them. A lot of the other people's excursions got canceled, so we just decided to kind of stay in the port, and it just felt like a mall that was on its last legs, essentially. But like, they did have free Wi-Fi, so that was kind of cool.
That helped.
That helped, so that way we could, make contact with home. But other than that, it was probably the worst port that we had been in. Now there might be more spots, beautiful spots and other spots in Belize, but
Sure
as far
there
as but if in the port, no, don't try to make any special arrangements to go to Belize. It's not a pretty place to be.
Yeah. And the port, as hard as it is, it's difficult because it's small and it's very Americanized or European. It's just, it's not a place to actually go and see the culture, and so we weren't expecting that, but we were expecting at least to be able to swim or do something, and we didn't get any of those. To be fair, we know there was a hurricane that went through, but to have like most of the excursions closed, even like the tubing ones and that sort of thing, had to be hard on the people who bought those excursions to do something other than stay on the port.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah. So we got back on the boat. I think that night, we went back to Club Caliente.
Caliente again.
Yeah, so I was like, all the rest of the
I
night.
think it was 80s night too.
It might have been 80s night. One of the nights was 80s night, which was awesome.
Yes. So then day 5 we went to Mahogany Bay, and we were at this point like, if we don't get in some water and swim,
That's not
we are
on the boat.
going to get really irate. But luckily, Mahogany Bay was beautiful.
Yes.
Lots of area to walk, lots of things to see. The beach was amazing.
Oh my God, yeah.
We didn't end up booking a snorkeling excursion, so I said, you know, I'm gonna buy some goggles and just see what we can see.
We saw a couple like fish around some coral, and then we mentioned that, and someone else said, hey, you need to just venture out even further, and that's where you're going to see it. Yeah. And that's where we saw it. Huge pieces of coral, just fish everywhere. Like that, it was so amazing. And it sucks because apparently like water got into our GoPro and it stopped working at a certain point.
Yeah.
But it was so...
We promise you it was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
and
definitely buy some snorkeling gear. You don't need to buy an excursion if you just want to snorkel and see some, you know, fish, like, you know, some underwater and the coral and beautiful coral. That's what you need to do. Now, if you're into like scuba diving and things like that, they do have some really cool wrecks out there that you can scuba, and which we didn't get to do because none of us are experienced.
We were a little bit worried about that, like doing one for inexperienced people, so we didn't do that. But it was even cool to see the wrecks there on the island, the shipwrecks from the balcony that we had when we pulled up. We knew it was going to be an amazing day as soon as we we got into port. So I wake up this morning and this is the view from the balcony. Yeah, Mahogany Bay, very good port to go to, and just stay in port.
And people are like, even like some of the locals it's definitely played up, but they're playing like local music. There's just a lot to do there. The port is way bigger. The walk to the beach was beautiful. They had hammocks along the way, so you could just stop, hop in a hammock, and just chill under the sun for a while. It was amazing. I mean, I wish I could have spent a little bit more time there, but it was what it was, and we had a blast. It was definitely I think it was definitely the highlight, the second highlight of the excursion. Seeing the Mayan ruins and being able to be a part of that.
There was nothing like it.
There was nothing like that. Getting to eat local food and drink local beer and
nothing like that. Tulum. Yeah, on the edge of the beach, just beautiful. But this was something we could do on our own, have our time together, and it was just an amazing experience, and we got to see a lot of things we didn't think we were going to see.
Right.
Walk at your own risk. Watch out for low branches. Oh, there's a swing up there too. Look at that. I said there's a swing up there too. Check it out. It's just like a hammock. Good morning. Exactly. Alright, so far winning. Best spot. And it's just like hammocks. You can just hang out in a hammock. It's like...
That's pretty awesome.
I'm in the ocean and I'm not too scared. What is that? I did step on like something. I don't know.
Just go in there and see what it is.
I don't wanna.
I'm going. I'm brave. I don't know what it is. So kind of finished out with day like 6 and 7 before we got back to port. What we did, and mainly it was Punchliner Comedy Club.
Yes, tons of great comedians that were on there. Just hilarious. I mean, if you've never been to a stand-up show, a lot of times you miss out on that by watching it maybe on Netflix or watching it, some Comedy Central. But when you go to a comedy show, it's a whole nother, level of that. And so it's kind of cool that if you've never been to it, you now have the opportunity to see that caliber level of comedian for I would say free, but it's included in your fare.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I think one night we went to 3 shows because they're back to back to back, and all you have to do is just hop back in line. That's it.
I think there were 4 different comedians on the boat, and we got to see 2 of them, and they were amazing. Have been on Comedy Central, and you know how sometimes people say that, and you're like, okay, well, sure, maybe you're funny. These guys were really funny. The house was packed every single show. People were waiting in lines that went back, past all the way on the side of the
halfway
ship,
through the boat,
casino,
halfway through the boat lines.
And it was cool. You get in, there's a lot of room, there's a lot of space, a lot of comfy couches to sit on, and good drinks that they serve in there too. Just skip Sam's piano bar on the way in.
Yeah, well, that's for our boat. That was for our boat specifically.
For our boat,
holy ship, come on in. Stupid line.
We were looking forward to Sam's piano bar, and this one just felt a little bit pretentious for us. Maybe it
pretentious. It felt trashy.
It
was trashy.
But
bad like Larry the Cable Guy jokes. Just people. It was just
walk past it and go to Punchliner Comedy Club.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much from beginning to end what we did on the cruise. We're going to probably do another segment later, another video, basically talking about all of the key points, things that we probably missed going through what we did. So watch the next video for that.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.
I thought you said don't bring your watch.
Jesus Christ. I didn't think you were going to say anything about watch.